Hey everybody, what's happening? It's Bill with Franklin Loan Center. And so today the existing home sales came out and the numbers were off, of course. There's no big surprise to that. But it got me thinking about a couple of things I just wanted to point out, right? So I guess first, and I probably talked about this before on the podcast, but so according to the National Association of Realtors, on average, every real estate transaction that happens, so anytime someone buys a home, it results in about $80,000 of revenue towards the local economy, right? So 80 grand. It's like, how in the world did it come up with that number? Well, there's a lot that goes into it. Of course, like anybody that's bought a house knows that there's a good number of fees. But then there's also all the vendors and all the different people that are actually involved in the transaction. But then you've got movers and cleaners and all the different things, and then contractors, and then they even put a number. I don't know how the heck they came up with this, but they even threw in some money for of course someone had to build the house, so there's an incremental thing that they added in. So anyway, let's just go with it. Let's just say it's 80 grand. I don't know if you want to cut it in half, right? But according to NAR, it's $80,000. Well, so the year-over-year change in existing home sales, and again, this is carving out new home sales, which there's another million plus of those every year, which are also down. But let's just stick with the existing home sales, and I've got some numbers here. So the year-over-year unit change is about 830,000 homes. So that didn't sell from the year before, times 80,000 is $66 billion. Pretty flippin' significant, right? Then let's look at it, because last year was also a bit of a laggard year. So let's compare it to 2001. So from 2001, that's a change of 2.6 million units. So that's 2001 versus this year. So that's $209 billion, which, by the way, is just about 1% of GDP, right? So it starts to get significant, right? And it just makes a bunch of people, it makes a difference in literally millions and millions of people's lives with the lower number of sales. So why do I care? I'm in the real estate business, so I care a lot. But what about, why does all this matter? Well, here's what we've got: the Fed, who is trying to make it sound like, look, the economy's just booming and everything's fine. And then I just look at one sector, real estate. Just one sector. Does not count all the technology. Like everybody knows, there's a technology recession going on already. The only thing that's propping it up is AI. And you think about that, so just a 1% change in GDP is a huge difference. You think about like a normal change, like a year-over-year change, they're looking for 2 to 3% would be considered solid. And just real estate, if 1% of that comes out. So I guess what I'm saying here is a couple of things. One is, it matters a lot to the entire economy that things are slow in real estate right now, because it means a lot of money, literally hundreds of billions of dollars. But then secondly is that there's just, that we got to get the Fed to start to realize that, look, the economy might not quite be what you're thinking right now. And real estate is just one example of that. So there you have it. Obviously, you can hear from me. I'm hoping the Fed will start to realize, look, you don't need to increase rates anymore. I think that what you were trying to do is done and then some, but no one's going to convince them of that. We'll see. I'm sure the next meeting there will be an increase, but there's my 2 cents. I think they need to pull the plug on it because it's already having a huge impact. So that's it. I went a little long today, but I'm Bill. I'm with Franklin Loan Center, and I'll see you all next week.